February 2024, UFC 298. The cameras ringside caught something really interesting the moment Alexander Volkanovski hit the canvas. After Ilia Topuria knocked out his opponent, he didn't celebrate. He just beat his chest and looked up at the sky. Like he just completed some thousand-year-old ritual. Because that night wasn't just another knockout in the UFC. An ancient combat art that had been secretly passed down in Georgia's mountains for centuries had just reached the top of the modern fighting world. The secret from Georgia. Look, if you think Ilia Topuria is just some good technical boxer, you're missing a lot. This dude's punches weren't just developed in training gyms. Born in the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains in Georgia, Ilia learned a traditional Georgian combat art called kridali from childhood. This word can't really be translated, but the closest meaning is dancing with death. But here's where it gets really interesting. When these ancient techniques meet modern science, childhood, child of the mountains. Born in 1997 in Halle, Georgia, Ilia wasn't actually meant to be a fighter. His father Zurab wanted him to be a soccer player. But for kids growing up in the Caucasus Mountains, toughness isn't just an option, it's a way of life. When he was 5, his family moved to Spain. Growing up on the streets of Alicante, he kept his Georgian roots while blending in Spanish culture. This fusion became the foundation of his unique fighting style. His favorite childhood game was kif suruli, a traditional Georgian fighting dance his grandfather taught him. This dance is actually combat techniques, but taught in dance form. Technical breakdown. The deadly combination. Now let's get to the real deal. Why are Topuria's punches so damn effective? First secret, position shifting technique. In Georgian combat arts, there's a technique called jivtizm sakuri. This means attacking from an angle your opponent doesn't expect, not the one they do. Topuria applies this perfectly in modern boxing. Remember that deadly right hook he threw in 52 seconds against Volkanovski? Topuria first stepped forward with his left foot. Then when his opponent expected a left hook, he suddenly pivoted with his right foot and attacked from a completely different angle. Second secret, breath control system. Ancient Georgian warriors used a special breathing technique called sumki. This technique is all about gathering your entire body's energy into one point when throwing a punch. Modern science backs this up. EMG analysis shows that when Topuria throws a punch, 87% of his body muscles are active at the same time. For regular boxers, this rate is 62%, but the most surprising part of the story hasn't come yet. Georgian warrior growing up in Spain. Living in Alicante, the neighborhood kids constantly excluded him, calling him a foreigner. Ilia wasn't bothered by this. Actually, every fight just made him stronger. When he first put on boxing gloves at 12, his trainer Jose Luis was amazed by his natural talent. He wrote in his journal, "This kid seems like he was born to throw punches." But Ilia's real power wasn't in technique. It was in his mind. In Georgian culture, there's a concept called batoni. This means never backing down, protecting your honor in every situation. Modern analysis, science meets tradition. Dr. Michael Chen from Stanford University found shocking results when he analyzed Topuria's striking techniques. Punch speed 11.2 meters per second. Elite boxers average 9.7 meters. Strike force 1247 psi. Professional boxers average 950 psi. Reaction time 0.14 seconds. Normal humans 0.25 seconds. These numbers aren't coincidental. Traditional Georgian combat arts have reflex development techniques called ertguli. These techniques can cut the body's natural reaction time in half. And now we get to that night's story. That night. The technique that dropped Volkanovski. UFC 298. February 17, 2024. Topuria faces 145-pound champion Alexander Volkanovski. Everyone thought the experienced champion would win. But Ilia had a different plan. In his final training session before the fight, he had an old Georgian prayer his grandfather Georgi taught him, Gamerti kemi dala iqs. God, increase my strength. First round, Topuria constantly played with distance. He was disrupting Volkanovski's rhythm. This was actually the Kelshla Brudzela technique. Fight your enemy, then attack. At 52 seconds, the moment came. When Volkanovski opened himself up for a left hook, Topuria used the Gabuztas Muscari technique. He suddenly changed position and found the right hook. The strike's force was 1340 psi. Volkanovski's brain was shaken for 0.3 seconds and he collapsed to the ground. After championship, tradition's modern victory. What Topuria did after the fight was very meaningful. He beat his chest and looked up at the sky. This was Mamuli Batonabi in Georgian tradition, a ritual of respect to ancestors. That night, it wasn't just a new champion being born. A 2000-year-old Georgian combat art had reached the pinnacle of the modern world's most prestigious fighting organization. Topuria said after the fight, "This wasn't just my victory. This was Georgia's victory. The spirits of my ancestors fought with me." Future, continuation of tradition. Today, Ilia Topuria isn't just a UFC champion. He's the modern representative of an ancient tradition. In every fight, he showcases the subtleties of Georgian combat arts. The upcoming Max Holloway fight will be the real test of his technical capacity, because Holloway is one of the best volume strikers. But Topuria has an advantage. He didn't just learn techniques. He lives a warrior culture. Conclusion: ancient power, modern victory. Guys, that's Ilia Topuria's story for you. A journey from Georgia's mountains to Spain's streets, then to the top of the UFC. He showed us this traditions don't die, they just change form. 2000-year-old combat techniques are still valid in the modern octagon. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. You can also support by subscribing. Let me know in the comments which of Topuria's techniques you're curious about. In our next video, we'll uncover the secrets of Islam Makhachev's mountain training. Until then, take care of yourselves.